Welcome to my humble toy factory. As you see, me and my elves have lots of work, making sure every child gets what they dream of. Indeed, we're preparing your gifts too. The elves have told me a lot about you. 1 second, I have a photo of you somewhere. I know. Oh, this picture is especially close to my heart.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with this channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. I also need to let you know that the subscriber mode has been enabled. Meaning, if you're not a subscriber and if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you will need to subscribe to the channel. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who are already subscribed to the channel. Whether you've been a part of the Uncommon Folk from the very beginning or just recently joined, I really appreciate all the love and all the support all of you have given me. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, particularly when it comes to Instagram and TikTok. I truly value your love and support. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices and all those who watch from the clouds. So what I'm going to ask you to do is the following. If you have not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notifications to all. So therefore, whenever you do produce I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. Okay. And as you can see, I just created a new intro, being that we're into the holiday season. So I decided to create a new intro. I'll be using it more often as we go through the rest of the month of December and the early part of January. Okay. So as you can see by the thumbnail, the topic for tonight is how to approach 2024. Okay. Before we get into the topic, we're going to have another episode of In My Words. Okay. First of all, I'm going to address the person alleged to be King Macho or whatever that person is. Going forward, if you're on the backstage, and if you do not come up, not only will you be removed from the backstage, you will be blocked permanently. Okay, this is going to be enough. Enough is enough. If you cannot come to this platform and contribute anything to the conversation, then do us a favor and stay away. Okay? Because this back and forth between you and Don Armando has got to stop. If you want to carry on this nonsense, You do it on your own platform or on other people's platforms when they are more than happy to enable your conduct. Okay. Consider this your only warning. The next time you appear in the backstage, you don't cam up, you will be blocked permanently. I do not have time for the stupidity. I do not have time for your beef. If you want to go on and talk about who's not Dominican or whatever, do so at your own platform. Do not do it here. The next person I wish to address is, of course, Hybrid the Sheriff. The next time, the next time that you put my content onto your community tab without my authorization, you will be hit with a copyright strike. Fair warning. Okay. And if I were you, I would be very careful because you already had two channels that were deleted or privated or whatever you want to call it. Okay, the results are the same. Okay, if anyone tries to search on YouTube for your last name, which was Hybrid the Queen Layer Slayer or Mika Slayer, they're not gonna find you. Okay, so stop the cap. And again, get the therapy that you need and get off of YouTube and deal with whatever trauma that you dealt with. Okay. Um, and just concede defeat, my friend, because you have been defeated point blank. And I know that you're watching this stream from the clouds. So I'm just giving you fair warning. If I discover my content in your community tab without my permission, you will be hit with a copyright strike. And in your case, you cannot afford too many strikes. So I will, if I were you, my friend, I'll be mindful. Okay. Now, generally, I don't talk about people's conduct in the subway because people are people or whatever. But as I was climbing up the staircase, getting off the train, there was this person that was walking, decided to walk on the same side of the stairway as I am, and he expected me to move. And it's like, excuse me, you see I have a cane and you see I'm struggling. So miss me with that. Miss me with that. I don't know why some people feel entitled, but you know what? It is what it is. The circus is alive, and it's becoming an 8-ring circus. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed the little video clip, which I'll be using as a greeting, as an entry for the rest of the year, because I do want to get into their spirit. And even though we know that for some people this is not a happy time, I do want to let people know that they're not alone. There is therapy available, and there are resources. And again, from time to time, I will not, give the information for the self deletion line uh, to prevent people from self deleting themselves. Because it is a lonely time for some people, and I get it. With that being said, now we're going to get into the main topic. Good evening, Irby. Thank you very much for stopping by. The topic for tonight is how to approach 2024. So, what I did, I gave us some thoughts how to approach the new year. Um, which in my humble opinion will be helpful, because some people look at the year with anticipation. Some people look at the year with fear. Okay. Um, I don't want you to fear the new year. However, I'm going to do my best to help you put you in the correct mindset for the new year. Okay. So what I did was I made some notes. Before I continue, let me just state that the link to join the panel has been pinned, and I encourage anyone who wants to join the panel and share their point of view to do so. Let me make this perfectly clear. If you're new here, I'm going to ask you to come up in the backstage, because I am not going to have some bozo come over here and show some private part and risk this stream to be taken down. Okay. So I'm probably going to be here for about an hour, depending how things go. So the first thing I would like us to consider as we approach the new year, treat it as a fresh start. First of all, because you have a whole new year where you have a year of many opportunities. Okay. Opportunities for development, opportunities for growth, opportunities to meet new friends, opportunities to get into other endeavors, and things of that nature. Okay. Of course, people will have a certain amount of fear as it pertains to the unknown. Okay. But as I, quoting FDR, the only thing there is to fear is fear itself. What the new year is going to bring, we don't know. Okay. However, I believe that if you put these suggestions into play, you will be better prepared to face the new year. So just treat it as a fresh new start, okay? And many things can happen. Maybe you get a better job. Maybe you find a better place to live. Maybe you find a loved one. Who knows? Maybe maybe you learn a hobby. Maybe you travel. Okay. Look at it as a fresh start. The next thing to do is review the good moments and the bad moments. Now, why do that? Because I truly believe that you can learn something from every moment. Okay? Even the moments that are not so wonderful. You can look at it as a learning experience. I mean, when I take a look of what has happened this year, for me, there were some good moments and not so good moments. However, what I try to do is to learn something from each moment to help me to be better prepared for the next time I'm faced with a similar situation. Okay. And I think if you approach it that way, each situation can become a learning exercise. Okay. Which leads me to my next point. Learn from your mistakes. Okay? Look, the fact of the matter is there's going to be times that even though you made your best efforts to achieve a goal or a plan, it doesn't always work out. Okay? And it could be through many factors. It could be maybe just the wrong place at the wrong time, or maybe you overlooked something, or Maybe you took a left turn when you should have gone to make a right turn. So learn from your mistakes, okay? And one thing we must bear in mind, whatever doesn't break us will strengthen us, okay? Take an example. Take an example of what we've gone through in the last almost 4 years with the COVID-19 pandemic now, health crisis now, whatever. I don't know what it's called now. Okay? We have learned to adapt, and we did adapt. Okay? First of all, what we did in the middle of the pandemic was we practiced social distancing. We wash our hands thoroughly for 20 seconds. Many of us were able to work from home remotely. We learned how to do things online. Many of us pick up habits. Many YouTube creators came out in 2021 as a way to deal with the health crisis and also to interact with other people. We developed technologies like Zoom and team meetings and things of that nature. We learned how to do things through a computer or a smartphone. And we adopted. Well, many of us adapted, okay? And we're fortunate because we're here now, okay? Especially in light of the fact that so many people passed away. And it may not have been because of COVID, it may have been because of other health causes. So we learned and we adapted. And we also learn from our mistakes. And if you have the ability to learn from your mistakes, it's gonna make you more prepared to deal with similar situations. Now, the next thing, which is very important, don't continue to dwell on your mistakes. Okay. I'm sure each one of us here have made some really, really bad decisions. I know in my 61 plus years of life, in this life journey, I made some poor decisions which I felt at the time were correct, only to be proven I was wrong. Okay. And it had to do with, as far as people that I confided with, also had to do with people that I associated myself with in these YouTube streets, and also people that I associated with my job, with my union, and things of that nature. Okay. So it's one thing to learn from your mistakes. It is another thing to constantly thinking about it and reliving it again and again and again. You're not doing yourself a favor when you do that, okay? And what happen is you continue dwelling the past. And I think that's part of the problem we have with some of these characters here in these YouTube streets, that they continue to dwell in the past and they have not been able to move on. And we can see it in their conduct. It's sad, it's pathetic, but it's a reality. So do yourself a favor. Don't continue to drop from your mistakes. Learn from your mistakes and then move forward. Another thing you can do for the new year is try new experiences. Okay? And it could be something as simple as going to the theater. It could be something like learning a hobby. It could be like learning a skill. It could be a change in your health and your habits. Okay. Now, next week, I'm going to be doing something that I have never done in my life. I had thought about doing, but I kept putting it off year after year after year. And what is that? I'm going to the Christmas Spectacular at Rockefeller Center. Okay. For those of you who are not familiar with New York, every year they have this big fancy show called the Christmas Spectacular, which is a lot of theater, and you have performances and things of that nature. So I'm going to spend a day in theater. Okay. Now next week I will be on vacation, so I don't have to worry about the job. I don't have to worry about dealing with clients or dealing with coworkers or dealing with or union reps and things of that nature. And I'll be spending a comfortable afternoon in the theater. And then what I'll probably do is go to a restaurant to get something to eat, and then maybe see the Christmas tree in Rockefeller Center, and then go home. Okay. So do learn some new experiences. Another thing you can do is think about maybe learning another language. Okay. Whether it be Spanish, Japanese, Russian, French, Creole, what have you. Learn another language. It can help you in many ways, particularly if you decide to seek employment in municipal government, where I'm not saying it's mandatory, but it definitely helps if you're bilingual. Now, another thing you can do to help approach the new year is learn to adapt. That's something we all need to do, not just in the new year, but in our lifetime. Okay. If you take it, let's take a look. Well, when we're born, of course, we had to be fed, we had to have our diapers changed and things of that nature, and our parents had to take care of us, and then good evening, Donamando. Thank you very much for stopping by. The topic for the topic for tonight is how to approach 2024. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm sharing some suggestions how to approach the new year. Okay. So try new experiences, as I stated. Do something that you wanted to do, but never had the chance to do for whatever reason. It could be go on a cruise. It could be travel abroad, or whatever. Just plan something and then just enjoy yourself. That's a very good way to prepare for the new year. Okay, prepare. Because because the fact of the matter is, it does help when you seek God's counsel. Okay. And of course, you learn how to adapt. As you get older, you learn new things. And some of the things that you did as a child, you don't do because you're old, because older, you become more mature, and you're able to rationalize as an adult. In fact, I remember, I think in First Corinthians 13, which talks about uh, when I was a child, I used to think as a child, but I no longer think as a child because I put away childish things. That's an example. I mean, when you adapt, you take a look at your situation and you apply what are those things that's going to help you now, and put aside those things that you used to do that doesn't help you now. So it's very important to learn to adapt. Also, another thing to help you to prepare for the new year is treat every day as a new journey. Okay, because you don't know what could happen. Okay, there might be new friends that you might meet. You might have a new opportunities that you might have. Maybe you think about going back to school to get your education. Um, so treat each day as a life journey. Okay. Another thing, try to do if you're able. Try to reconcile with others. Okay. You know, at times, you know, we'll get into disagreements with people. We'll get into arguments with people, and sometimes um, angry words can be exchanged, and as a result, you have two people not speaking to each other because they are naturally hurt with what's being said or what's been done. Okay. If you can, try to reconcile with others. Okay, because truth of the matter is, tomorrow is not promised to anybody. Okay. I mean, we have seen I have heard so many cases where people that were alive all of a sudden they're no longer with us. And it takes us by surprise that people have passed away. And sometimes people passed away when they're relatively young. Okay. So if you can, try to reconcile. But mind you, in order for reconciliation, it takes two people to do so. Both parties must be willing to be reconciled. And if not, well, all you can do is try. And you cannot force a person to reconcile with you if that person chooses not to. Okay? In that case, you just let that person be and just go on with your life. Shout out to the 5 people watching, including those in the clouds. And I'm sure Hybrid is watching right now. I think he's a secret fan, but whatever. Another thing to do, and this is something to try to avoid. Don't become jaded. Now, at times during the year, we're going to be facing with deep disappointments. And sometimes those disappointments has the ability to cloud our judgment. Okay, let's see. It does it. Okay. So yeah, hit the like. That's right. Hit the. But like I said before, hybrid, fair warning. Next time you see my content in your community tab without my permission, you will be hit with a community strike, and you cannot afford too many strikes because that means you'll have your third channel taken down. Okay, don't be another Cynthia G. Okay, so try your best not to be jaded, and the best way is just to be mindful that situations do change, times do change, people can change, behavior can change. So just try to avoid being jaded. Another thing you can do to approach the new year, spend less time complaining. I mean, I hear people all the time. They complain, and then they complain some more. But yet, they don't come up with a solution. All they do is just complain. Okay. Well, complaining does not help. It does not rectify the situation. Okay. I had a saying that there's a reason why God gave every human one tongue and 2 ears, and it was to speak less and to listen more. Okay. And really, no one wants to be around complainers, okay, all the time. People, for the most part, they want to deal with people that can, no, that have a problem, but yet they can come up with solutions. Okay. Now, the next thing is extremely important if you want to approach the new year and have a successful new year. Separate yourself from negative influences. Okay. And that could be that nasty neighbor that has nothing pleasant to say. That could be a nasty coworker that complains about everything all the time. It could be that YouTube creator that loves to create drama. Okay. So you need to separate yourself from negative influences. Okay. And of course, in the beginning, it's not always going to be easy. But you have to think about your well being. Okay. Also, you have to think about your inner peace. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, unfortunately, we have certain individuals who got nothing better to do because nothing is going on good in their lives. But what they do, they defame, they tell lies, they spin negative narratives regarding certain people, and for what? Because of something stupid. Okay, I have seen this on multiple platforms. And of course, there have been people that try to bring that stupidity here on this platform as well. Okay. But at this point, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that this is a healthy environment for people to come share their views. If I have to block people, so be it. If I have to boo people, so be it. Let's see. Yeah, look, I mean, look, the fact of the matter is this. He's been in need for therapy for a long time. Okay. But instead of getting the therapy for whatever trauma he went through, he wanted to get into this heteronormative shtick. Okay, happy birthday, Donna Manu. But this heteronormative shtick, and then belittling people, men who support Gigi and Multi. Okay, but no one has bothered to figure out, okay, why people, okay, I mean, why people like Gigi and Multi. Okay, 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 because look, they're likable people, both of them. And they both have hearts of gold, and they're very creative. Okay. Now, that's true. That is very true. And and again, the problem is you have certain people that treat this platform as it was Tinder or Bumble or whatever adult dating site people flock to, and they act thirsty. Okay. And then when they can't, when they see themselves being rejected by beautiful women, it hurts their egos. And they get offensive, and then they start calling names, calling them hyenas, calling them lesbians. I mean, and everything but a child of God. Okay. Why? Because they cannot deal with rejection. They cannot deal with the fact, yep, incels, definitely. But then again, Irby, you are a simp, and I'm an old, lonely, senile white guy who gotten 10,000 views on my platform for the last 4 weeks, and have gained 25 subs in that same time. Okay. Yeah, that's you see that's another problem. Unfortunately, some people, they never learned how to properly address women. Okay, most educated women are going to be repulsed if you come to them crude, if you come to expecting to to hit it and then go on. Okay, but I don't want to digress any further. Okay, because I got a few more points, so I just want to get to that. So you need to do everything you can to separate yourself from negative influence. That's why I now close my stream stating the following. We must do everything possible to minimize our influence with the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do that, we will be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity. Okay. Because if we allow those type of people in our lives, next thing you know, we're going to start picking up their bad habits. Which leads me to my next point. Look to your well-being. What does that mean? You need to value your peace of mind as it was priceless, because it is. Because if you don't have peace of mind, you are unable to do anything. Okay. You cannot focus on yourself. You cannot achieve your goals. You cannot think clearly if you're not able to, to tend to your well-being. Again, let me just make this perfectly clear. The link to join the panel has been pinned. Should anyone wishes to do so. So, looking to your well-being is, of course, avoiding negative influences. Be with people who are going to be supportive. Make sure that you take care of yourself physically, mentally, psychologically, and spiritually. Okay. Another thing that's going to help that you need to do to avoid. Don't get stuck with the past. Okay, we have seen in multiple platforms people that cannot move on because of a negative situation, whether it be a breakup, whether it be being terminated from a job, whether it be being embarrassed or whatever. We have people who are unable to move on. They are unable to just continue with their lives because they're constantly thinking about that failure. They're constantly thinking about the person that hurt them. They're constantly thinking about the people that were betrayed with. They was constantly thinking about the people that let them down. Newsflash, everybody, and I repeat, everybody will let down somebody at some point, okay? But you're not doing yourself any favors by continuing to dwell on the past, okay? Okay. So we got a couple more things. Okay. Value your true loved ones. And when I mean loved ones, I'm not just talking about family, like blood related family, but I'm also talking about the good friends that you have. I'm also talking about your significant other who's been there to support you. I'm talking about colleagues that have been there to support you and who won't become fickle when times change. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? And this is the thing. Look, I don't agree um, with quite many things regarding the LGBTQ plus community, but yet every individual has the right to live their lives as they see fit. Okay? Whether it is a question of your sexual orientation, whether it be your religious views, whether it be your philosophy on life, everyone has a right to live as they see fit, as long as they're not imposing their view on other people. Okay. And in fact, I'm not going to say the content creator, but there was one that actually talked about how certain Christians are trying to impose their views on others, which I responded, look, I'm a Christian, but I don't like people to impose their views on me Therefore, I don't impose my views on them. Mature people can respect all types of views. And I stand behind that statement. I'm not going to state the name of the creator because let's just say it's not necessary. But that person actually made a valid point. So truly value the people that have been there with you through the thick and thin, who were there when you were down, who were there when you were depressed, who were there when you thought about throwing in the towel. Okay. The next thing is very important is practice discernment. Now, we say this a lot in Christian terminology. But basically what that means is you examine each individual and see whether or not that person is worthy of your time and energy, okay? Because the last thing you want to do is be with someone that's going to be a negative influence. And the next thing you know, that person's negative traits are being passed on to you, and then you start acting in that fashion. I mean, we as Christians believe a great deal when it comes to practicing discernment, but it also comes as far as who you deal with, whether it be with friends, whether it be with colleagues, or whether it be romantic interests. Okay. There have been many men that have been deceived by women that were beautiful on the outside, but on the inside, their character was not beautiful. Okay. So, and again, I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm just giving you what is my perspective on some things and how to approach the new year. Okay. Which leads me to my final thing to consider. Be yourself. Okay? In other words, don't try to be a Don Armando. Don't try to be a Jose Negron. Don't try to be an Herbie Vital. Be yourself. Okay? You deal with who you are, with all your imperfections. Improve what you're able to improve. Put aside those things that's not going to help you in your daily walk in life, and just be yourself. Okay? You'll be surprised what you're able to do if you give yourself half a chance and be yourself. Okay? You may be able to achieve great things. Maybe you're the person that finds a cure for AIDS. Or maybe you're the person that finds a cure for cancer. Or maybe you find an easier way for us to use equipment. So just be yourself. In fact, try to be the best version of yourself. Okay? That's something that I strive to do day in and day out. There have been times I have been successful, and there have been times that I have not. Well, in any case, I have been talking for almost an hour. Okay, so if anybody else wishes to join the panel, they may do so. If anybody else has any more comments, they can enter in the comments. If no one else gets involved, then I'll start to wrap this up. Okay. What I will do is, excuse me, what I will do is talk about what's going to be the subject for Friday's stream. And it's going to be another episode of Open Discussion. And for those of you who are not familiar with what it is, basically on Open Discussion, I talk about things that are currently on my mind. Okay, so it gives me a chance to, amplify things a little bit further and just get those things off my chest. And of course, it's an opportunity for all of you to express your point of view. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, just bear with me. Okay. What I'm going to do is just bear with me. I'm going to see if I can share that little clip regarding, excuse me, just give me a moment. Okay. Yeah. And of course, everyone in Open Discussion will have the opportunity to express their point of view, just like in all my streams. Okay. So I apologize because I should have had this ready. Okay. Just bear with me. Okay. So I found it. Okay. Oops. So what I'm going to do is share my screen, hopefully. Yeah, you can say that. So what I'm going to do is mute myself and play this little clip.
If you are thinking about taking your life today, I hope you listen to this quick thing that I have to say. I know you feel like you are really hopeless and alone, but you are more loved and wanted than you'll ever know. You woke up this morning because you have a greater purpose. Every breath you take is precious and your life is worth it. You're not alone. Pick up the phone and call this number, please. I've called it too. They help me through and put my mind at ease. So please remember that you matter and you are enough, because you are unique and you truly are so very loved.
Okay. I don't know too much about the person, but I love this message. Okay? Because those type of thoughts, thousands of people struggle with that every day. And of course, when you're dealing with that type of situation, self-delusion appears to be a solution, but it's not. Okay? What will happen is, first of all, you're going to leave a lot of grief behind And then you're going to have a lot of family members second guessing themselves regarding maybe I should have done this and I should have done that. You don't want to do that to your own family. So every now and then, I'm going to continue to add this little clip to bring home a certain point, which is if you are dealing with those type of thoughts, please consider contacting that number. You're gonna find people that are not going to judge you, that are not going to criticize you, but they're going to help you to get through that crisis. And no matter what's going on, there's always a solution other than self-deletion. So now let me just give you what's my final take. I know that people, they approach the new year in many ways. Some people look forward to the new year, others fear it. And a lot of it has to do with fear of the unknown. Okay. And, well, it's true. We don't know fully what's going to happen in the new year. However, what we say or what we do does play a huge role in how the year will end up. So I would suggest that you at least put some of these suggestions into practice. So therefore, you could prepare yourself for a wonderful new year, and to help deal with any of those difficult times that we all face. Okay. And mind you, the purpose of this platform is to deal with everyday issues and try to find logical solutions. Now, next week's schedule is going to be a little different. I'm probably not going to do a Sunday stream. My schedule for next week will probably be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I thought about maybe doing a Saturday stream, but then again, basically Saturday night people go out, okay, or visit family, or they'll entertain family. So not likely too many people are going to watch. Okay, let's see this. You know what? Look. At this point, I understand that people are hurt. Okay. People are hurt, and then there's a certain amount of jealousy involved. Because look, and I am humbled, and I mean humbled by the number of views I've gotten within the last month. In fact, I've gotten like 10K. Okay, that's a lot. And the fact that I already reached 45,000 views, which is basically 5,000 views in less than about a week and a half, that's a lot. And I'm still getting subs. Okay. And that's considering all the trouble I had, all the times when, thank you. And that's considering all the times I struggle with bad internet, all the times I struggle with equipment failure, all the times I have to deal with the people from the circus acting foolishly. the fact that I've gotten over 45,000 views, that means a lot. Okay. But in any case, I'm going to put this stream to bed. And I really enjoyed the interaction that I have all of you. Huge shout out to everyone that's in the chat. And a huge shout out to everyone that's watching from the clouds. And I know Hybrid is watching me right now. I mean, maybe one day he'll learn something from me, and maybe he'll become somewhat of a human being. But in any case, before I go, I'm just going to play the new intro one more time.
Welcome to my humble toy factory. As you see, me and my elves have lots of work, making sure every child gets what they dream of. Indeed, we're preparing your gifts too. The elves have told me a lot about you. One second, I have a photo of you somewhere. I know. Oh, this picture is especially close to my heart.
Yeah, it isn't a singing song. I cannot be. I mean, I'm not the original State Nick, but I do get a kick out of that little video clip, because it kind of gives me a warm feeling. But in any case, I'm gonna put this stream to bed, because I don't want to talk more than I have to. But in any case, thank you very much. Just a reminder, for those who watch this in the playback, you're more than welcome to a comment. Just keep it respectable, and hit the like button, please, and subscribe and all that good stuff. And in any case, we must do everything possible to minimize our influence, our contact with the mentally and intellectually challenged. Because if we fail to do so, we'll be infected by the stupidity and massive insanity. And this has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Wishing all of you good night. Oh, and before I forget, happy Hanukkah. Take care and peace.